Today, the Congress Overseas Chairperson, Sam Pitroda, made a statement about Ayodhya Ram Mandir and Ram Navami. Sam Pitroda said that the democracy, freedom, liberty and fraternity of the country were being challenged today by Ram Mandir and Ram Navami. For those who may be unaware, the festival of Ram Navami is intrinsic to the very culture and ethos of every Hindu. Like Eid is for Muslims and Christmas is for Christians, Ram Navami is celebrated in every Hindu household as the day Lord Ram was born. By claiming that Ram Navami is a polarizing force that is destroying the country's democracy, freedom, liberty and fraternity is an attack on Hindus. It is a hate speech spreading Hindu-Muslim discord. While the Congress may have its reasons to make political statements over the Ayodhya Ram Mandir, it is quite another thing to attack the faith of 1.2 billion Hindus across the globe. I want to raise one more point. It was in 2017 when Congress's Randeep Surjewala held a press conference to tell the country that Rahul Gandhi is a Janeu-dhari Hindu and even displayed pictures of Rahul Gandhi wearing the Janeu in his childhood when he was offering his prayers at the pyre of his father Rajiv and while partaking in his sister Priyanka Gandhi's wedding rituals. Let's actually listen in to that soundbite of Randeep Surjewala and those pictures that he displayed to the public.
अपनी लिखाई से लिखा राहुल गांधी 12 तुगलक लेन नई दिल्ली ए वेरी इंस्पायरिंग प्लेस यानी यहां एक दैवीय शक्ति की अनुभूति हुई। मैं इसकी प्रतिलिपि आपको दे रहा हूं। उन्होंने दर्शन किए और अपनी कलम से जो विजिटर रजिस्टर उनको दिया गया जब वो गाड़ी में बैठ रहे थे तो उन्होंने ये 4 शब्द विजिटर रजिस्टर में यानी आगंतुकों का जो रजिस्टर है उसमें लिखे कि ना केवल कांग्रेस उपाध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी हिंदू धर्म से हैं परंतु वो जनेऊ धारी हिंदू हैं।
All right, so you heard it, the statement that was made by Randeep Surjewala. This was over the controversy that had raked in right ahead of the assembly elections in Gujarat when Rahul Gandhi visited the Somnath temple. Now, what would Sam Pitroda call this? Because Rahul Gandhi displaying his Hindu-ness by wearing a Janeu, does it challenge the democracy, liberty, freedom and fraternity of the country? When Rahul Gandhi visited the Ram temples pre-2019, was he advocating the decimation of the democracy, freedom, liberty and fraternity of our country? Does having faith in Lord Ram make one against the very pillars on which our constitution stands? And if Sam Pitroda were to make a similar statement on celebration of Eid and the people who celebrated were in fact challenging the country's democracy, freedom, liberty and fraternity, what kind of chaos he would spread not just in India but across the globe against him. There might just be fatwas that must be launched against him. You already saw what Salman Rushdie had to go through of the latest book that he had released and spoken about Islam. All right, I'm going to start my conversation over here. Joining me on the telecast, Dr. Pooja Tripathi, Congress spokesperson. Dr. Pooja, what do you have to make, first of all, of Sam Pitroda's statement, which was irresponsible, racist, a hate speech the Congress has distanced itself from and still continues to have Sam Pitroda as part of the team Congress as the overseas chairperson of Congress?
Megha, you've answered my own question, my own answer when you say that Congress has distanced itself. Our General Secretary in charge, Jairamji, has put out a statement that it's unacceptable, and I'll go on to add what Mr. Sam Pitroda said is disgraceful, abhorrent, and it's very damaging to the idea of integrity of India. You cannot equate the diverse profiles that we have with some colors that's out of your fancy mind. And the Congress party, each and every member of Congress party distances itself from Sam Pitroda's statement, and that has been put out. That has been put out as a statement. We have to. On the contrary, we have to believe, we have to see that we have come out with a manifesto that talks of forming a diversity commission. And that's where we want to promote, celebrate India's diversity. Our manifesto, Sam Pitroda is not even a star campaigner, not even a manifesto committee, not even somebody who holds the communication official line in charge of the party. And when we
talk
about
why not expel him? Why not expel him for making such decisive, divisive hate statements? And my other question, my one more question, Dr. Pooja Tripathi, that there were two parts of his speech, and my discussion over here is on the latter part of the speech, particularly when he speaks about how Ram Navami is, and if its celebration of Ram Navami is challenging the liberty, the fraternity, the freedom of our country. Are you casting aspersions on the faith of billions of Hindus across the globe?
Again, Megha, again I'm saying that Sam Pitroda is not part of the team Congress. And when he casts I as a practicing Hindu has a problem when he casts aspersions and equates democracy, freedom. I want to make it very clear that Congress party believes in religious plurality of the country. Congress party believes in upholding every freedom of profess, practice and propagate any religion. And we have already distanced itself from our from Sam Pitroda's comment. As a practicing Hindu, I celebrate Ram Navami. I have deep belief in respect in be it Eid, be it Christianity, and any religion that you say. But we have to also understand that is the Prime Minister Modi, who in a political rally, he he othered a community, he othered the 15% Muslims of the country, calling them Ghuspaithia and Bacha Paida Karne Ki machine. And that's when he gave a very vile and a very hateful speech, dividing the people on the religious lines, and I think that should be condemned. Sam Pitroda is a no one, and I'm sure party will take an action against him.
Okay.
But this coming from the horse's mouth, this coming from Prime Minister, and 3,840 letters were sent to Election Commission of India asking them to take an action against Prime Minister himself, and it's not just one incident.
Okay.
He's talking
All right.
and they'll divide it among Muslims. They'll take your property, they'll divide it among Muslims. He causes court jihad. Yesterday he said कि राम मंदिर में बाबरी ताला लगा देंगे. I think when we are talking about upholding the
but is it not true? Is it not true that the Congress has time and again spoken about providing quota to religious minority, which is Muslims, when in our law, in our constitution, it is not allowed to discriminate on the basis of religion and provide quotas and affirmative actions on the basis of religion.
So we are providing quotas on the basis of socio-economic backwardness. It was Prime Minister Modi who in an ANI interview claimed that कि मैंने 70 Muslims.
So what has happened? What has happened in Karnataka? Why is there a very specific figure of 4% quota to Muslim minority in the entire 27% quota to the OBCs, to the scheduled castes and to the scheduled tribes in Karnataka, which has at this point of time, the government has been pulled up by the National Commission of Backward Classes.
So this has been through 3 decades, this quota 3B, that Muslim, that's what I'm saying. Prime Minister in an interview to ANI told to Smita Prakash that he has given 70 Muslim subcastes.
The quota was brought forth by the JDS Supremo and the then Chief Minister of Karnataka, H.D. Deve Gowda. It has continued under the Congress era as well. Mind you, this was also part of Andhra Pradesh's manifesto agenda to bring in 4% quota for Muslims, and not just 4%, increase it to 12%. There has been a petition that has gone to the centre, and centre has declined it, refused it, because quotas cannot be provided on the basis of religion. And therefore people are asking, if the Congress were to come out and speak about quotas and talk about socio-economic disparities in the country, when you are talking about wealth distribution surveys, when you are talking about inheritance taxes, when you are talking about providing appeasement and affirmative action to the Muslim minorities, what are you talking about? Because right now in our country, as per the socio-economic surveys that have been conducted, caste census that has been conducted, already the Muslim community is already part of the OBC, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe quota. What exactly are you inferring when you are saying that, listen, we are going to provide quotas to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, to the OBCs as per socio-economic status? What is it? Because it's already prevalent, it's already in the constitution, and amendments have continued to be made from 1950 up until 2024, where every 10 years this quota system for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC is extended 10 years, 10 years, 10 years.
So when we say will delve into socioeconomic caste census, that's when we want to have a clear picture of the socioeconomic backwardness of the community. When we say we'll remove the 50% gap on reservation, that we have promised, but nowhere we are promising quotas on the basis of religious grounds. And that's what I'm saying. Prime Minister Modi himself.
So are you saying you are of the opinion that removal of 50% quota for the OBCs, for the underprivileged castes is going to solve the problem? So are you saying tomorrow when you come to power, you are going to be providing 60, 70, 80% of quota for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe of OBCs?
We will be removing the 50% because the fruits of economic justice has not been distributed. When we see there's a concentration of people from upper caste, be it in bureaucracy, be it in media.
No, wait a minute. Upper caste. When you talk about upper caste, are you saying every single Brahmin in the country is rich? Are you saying that there are no poor Brahmins?
Socioeconomic caste census, we are giving quota to the EWS people. We have promised quota to the EWS people. That's what I'm saying.
And therefore, there is no need to divide the country into Brahmins, Yadavs, Shudras, Kshatriyas. Why are you dividing the people of the country on the basis of caste? Just divide them on the basis of their economic prosperity or the lack of it.
If we want to formulate a public policy, then the public policy should know what is there, jiski jitni bhagidari, uski itni hissedari. We have to know the numbers. Unless and until you know how many people would be eating dinner at your home, how many chapatis will you make? That's the form of redistributive justice we want to bring it. And that's why we are saying we'll remove the 50% cap on the reservation. And through socio-economic caste census,
and you're going to increase it. You're going to increase it to what percentage?
No, that's not. Let the socio-economic caste census happen and let their numbers come out in the open. Let their representation in various fields, be it employment, be it education.
So are you telling me right now on national television that under the OBC quota, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe quota, there are not going to be specific percentage that is going to be allocated to the Muslim minorities?
I am saying that we have...
Are you saying this? Are you saying that there is not going to be a 4%, 5%, 10%, 12% quota for Muslim minority in the overall quota that is provided for the OBCs?
On the basis of socio-economic backwardness.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. You are not answering my question.
No, we have not promised any number. That's why I'm not answering. We have promised.
So you're saying being a Congress spokesperson, you are assuring to the people of the country that there are not, for example, how there is a quota that has been approved by the state government, which is 4% for Muslim, every single Muslim community, whether they are of the lower caste or the higher caste in Karnataka, are part of the 4% quota. Are you promising that quota is going to be removed as soon as you come to power? And in fact, because of the fact that Congress is in power in Karnataka, it has all right to remove that 4% quota. Why is that action not being taken by the Congress?
So this quota comes under 3B and this has been there since 1974. The H.D. Devegowda was in alliance with Prime Minister Modi's party.
But okay, it was H.D. Devegowda who did it. If there was something wrong that was done, why wouldn't the Congress, that is state government right now in Karnataka, undoing it?
So Prime Minister Modi is in power for 10 years. They could have undone it. Any reservation,
It is the state government that is given power. It is the state government that is given power to take under its own decision by taking a look at the situation of their inhabitants, of the residents of the country, of the state, to make a decision. The fact that there was a reservation that was made for Muslim minority within the OBC, ST and scheduled caste quota is wrong. Something similar was being done in Andhra Pradesh and a proposal was sent by KCR in Telangana as well, and that has been brought down by the government of India at the center, by the Modi government. So there have been previous governments that have been hand in glove with certain state governments. For case in point, Karnataka government back in the day under H.D. Devegowda's regime, and now at this point the Congress refuses to do anything in undoing what had happened several years ago, several decades ago. Savio Rodriguez also on the telecast with me, and Savio, quickly a response from you with regards to, I was talking about Ram Navami, a celebration of Hindu faith, a celebration of Lord Ram, who is a god that is intrinsic to Hindu culture. When a statement like this is made, why is the Congress shying away from calling it a hate speech, shying away from calling it polarizing politics of Sam Pitroda?
Well, Megha, the most important aspect for us to dwell on as this country is to accept the fact that there has been a concentrated effort to demonize the Hindu faith, demonize the Hindu practices, and demonize anything to do with Sanatan Dharma. You had Udayanidhi Stalin sharing his comments on Sanatan Dharma, which were absolutely shameful. And now you have Sam Pitroda, who is an advisor to Rahul Gandhi, making such poor, unwarranted, unwanted statements only to hurt the Hindu sentiments. And that is precisely what the problem is. The problem is to divide the country on basis of caste and creed and to hit at the Hindu sentiments the most. Now, his follow-up statement to what he said was even more shocking, that he divided India and Indians on a racial profiling. He called the East Indians like Chinese. He called the people of the South as Africans. He called the people of the West as Arabs. And he called the people of the North as whites. That is precisely the ideology of Congress, where they don't accept the fact that we are all Indians, unique in our color, unique in our attitude, unique in our culture, unique in our music, unique in our clothing. But we are all the soul of India. That is what Bharat is all about. We are not Chinese, we are not Africans, we are not whites, we are not Arabs. But that is the mindset of somebody like Sam Pitroda, who is an advisor to Rahul Gandhi. And while Congress tries to distance itself, the fact of the matter is everyone in the political spectrum knows the relationship between Rahul Gandhi and Sam.
Okay.
And no, Sam, we are not Africans, we are not Chinese, we are not Arabs, and we are certainly not whites. Not because we detest them, but because we are Indians and we are unique in our own right. Why should we be compared on racial basis with other people?
Okay. All right.
So that is the problem. But to answer Pooja Tripathi, and when she talks about that the Modi government didn't do anything for the SC and the ST, let me give her some data. The National Backward Class Finance Development Corporation had given out 6.8 lakh crore loans to 3.2 million entrepreneurs from the SC, the OBCs and the ST communities. Should I give you the figure what Congress did? So let's talk practically, please.
Okay.
I'll give you another figure. There was a total of 233.76 crore given to students from SC, OBCs and STs for further studies for 1,71,496 students, and further studies including studies in India and including foreign studies. There was 51,000 crore given to 2,27,000 people under the Stand Up India scheme. So if you want to divide India on the basis of caste and creed, this India is not going to accept. And Sam Pitroda right now has done the worst damage possible to the Congress with his racial statement.
Okay.
It needs to be condemned. He needs to be picked up from wherever he is, and he needs to be whipped or thrown in jail.
Okay. All right. George Kurian, quickly getting a response from you as well. What do you make? I'm going to talk about the statement that is made over Ram Mandir and Ram Navami. Does this not, is this not again attacking the Hindu faith?
Well, Megha, let me reiterate for the benefit of your audience, is that the Congress party and the Congress ideology is neither anti-Ram, neither anti-Sanatan.
Is it not, are you saying his statement is not anti-Ram and anti-Hindus? Because I, being a Hindu, take offense to his, grave offense to his, when he says Ram Navami celebrations challenge the democracy, fraternity. I, at my home, celebrate Ram Navami. And I know millions and billions of Hindus across the globe celebrate Ram Navami. So what has Ram Navami got to do with politics?
And Megha, offer me the courtesy that you offered to Savio, my friend here, and to Pooja. Let me put forward my points here, and then you can take a call from there on. As I said, this is really uncalled for. I mean, Sam Pitroda is not Congress. He is part of the Congress party. He is not Congress. The Congress ideology is clear about, carrying every section of the society, every caste, religion, creed. We don't differentiate between any of these. As far as Sam Pitroda's remarks and statements, the way he has illustrated the diversity of India and is really uncalled for. And I really appreciate the Congress party and the communication in charge, Jairam Ramesh, has come on record to clarify the Congress's stand. So I think he has put a rest to Sam Pitroda's statement. The Congress party doesn't endorse it, neither the Congress party seconds it. And we understand, see, the Indian culture is different than the American culture. Sam is based out of America, so, he speaks the language American understand. Probably, that doesn't quite
He's a Gujarati born in Odisha.
Well, but he's based out of America. See, American have a different attitude altogether when it comes to...
So are you saying after having lived in America for 30, 40 years, he's forgotten his culture, his roots? He doesn't know how the Indian culture functions. He doesn't know what Ram Navami is.
That's what I'm coming to. Americans don't give a damn to what people say. They are so busy in their lives. But when it comes to India and Indian culture, we are so sensitive, we are so emotional that, everything tries to, we try to, it hurts Indians. So that is one thing, Sam should keep in mind.
You try to speak anything against Islam and tell me that there are not going to be fatwas issued against you.
That's what I'm coming to. See, in the past, there are so many BJP leaders, I don't want to name any on this debate at this point in time, who have given such insensitive statements, but the Prime Minister has remained silent. Or for that matter, the BJP chief has remained silent. Nobody utters a word. When it comes to women atrocities, Smriti Irani, Women and Child Development Minister, remains silent. So I don't want to get into that at this point in time, because that's not the part of the debate. Coming to my friend Savio out here, he spoke about beneficiaries. We are still, the Congress party or the India at large, are we still trying to, try to reach out, who are those beneficiaries that these benefits have gone to? He has given a data and all.
Why don't you read my book when it comes out? You'll get the data, George. Don't worry.
Brother, this data are
Why don't you read the book when it comes out, George? The data is there.
Very good, but on ground, who are the beneficiaries? That is what the.
Why don't you and I would like to invite you to sit along with me. I will take you through all the data with Amit Bagaria, and you can have a look. We can have a discussion. We all want India to grow, right, George? We're not against each other.
It goes without saying. It's good without saying. And I also want to add that my colleague out here, Dr. Pooja, has very aptly answered to all your questions, and she's made the Congress party stand very clear. And I hope that your audiences have understood what Pooja had tried to convince. And we will leave it to the wisdom of the people of India at large. We still have left with 4 phases of election, and I'm sure that the people are too smart to understand, who is trying to polarize this entire statement and give it a color. And so we will leave it to the wisdom. The Congress party has made its stand clear. Okay. That is what is convincing for me at this point in time.
Okay. All right. Sumit, at this time, do you think the Congress has made a wise decision to stay away from being part of the Ayodhya Ram Temple consecration Pran Pratishtha ceremony? There was a report that had been provided by A.K. Antony in 2019. The reason for the decimation of Congress in the Lok Sabha elections was of its alienation against the Hindus of the country. That being a statistical survey that was made and a conclusion that was drawn, could in fact the Congress have learnt its lessons?
Meghaji, thanks for having me on your show. In fact, Congress never learns its lessons. I'll tell you something. You know what is Sam Pitroda and Rahul Gandhi? You've seen an electrician with a tester, chota sa peshkash hota hai. He puts it and judges the current. Sam Pitroda is the tester and Rahul Gandhi is the electrician. Because Sam Pitroda's full name Satyanarayan Gangadharan Pitroda. So let me put it for the clear perspective. So I don't know where did he got the name same, but that is his okay, that where he is entitled to that. Now the question is, they use Sam Pitroda for doing all these things, these tests, and then they can carefully and strategically distance itself from them. Now I want to ask one question. Acharya Pramod Krishnan said one statement about Rahul Gandhi, you checked him out of the party. Radhika Khera, your national media coordinator for 21 years, went to Ram Mandir, you checked her out of the party. Anybody who went near to Ram Mandir, you checked them out of the party. Right? So when you're checking all of them out of the party, what is so special about Satyanarayan Gangadhar and Pitroda that he cannot be checked out of the party? What is so special about him? He has to be a perennial liability if it what he looks to be. Basically, he's running your agenda. He's your tester. Right? He takes all the current and he does all the testing for you. So like in software industry, we have software testers. So he's a political tester. So that is what Sam Pitroda is. Now today, Jairam Ramesh came and said, we are distancing itself from him and him. Ye humne nahi kaha, all that. But why such a response is not coming? What Acharya Pramod Krishnan said. Why Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia ji, or even Jairam Ramesh ji or Kharge ji has not distanced himself? Ki bhai ye jo Acharya Pramod Krishnan kare, jhoot kare, is a bunch of lies. In fact, you should sue Acharya ji and take him to the court and tell him, why are you concocting these lies against us? Because he told us that Rahul Gandhi wanted to overturn the decision of Ram Mandir, right? Then you add insult to this injury. You racial profilist. I, for the first time, know I am white. Oh, thank you, Satyanarayan Pitroda ji. I know I'm white now. I didn't know this. 45 saal mein pata nahi laga I'm white. So I'm white now. And and all of you, some of you might be Chinese, some of you might be Arabs, some of you might be Africans. So he has done what is the worst ever crime is racial profiling of Indians. That is another thing you do. Then you very carefully cast aspersions around the people. Now, Pooja ji was saying, Prime Minister said this is. Honorable Prime Minister said this for Rohingyas, for Guspeitis. Guspeitis are the people who have crossed the border and come into India. They are not the natives of India. They are for Rohingyas. And I know Rohingyas got 32 children. And there are a lot of videos available on the social media. And all the Rohingyas and all the intros from Bangladesh and all need to be sent out. So there's absolute clarity on that. Do not try to mix it with the Muslims of the country. He never talked anything about the word Muslim of the country. He talked about the intruders, Guspeiti. Another thing. Honorable Prime Minister challenged you in one of his interviews. He said, Congress ka koi neta, why don't you come and said that we are not going to take away reservation from OBCs and give it to Muslims? You know why, Pooja ji? Because there's a Supreme Court ceiling, you cannot increase reservation by more than 50%. Now you can do reservation over and above that, that is for EWS, that is a still option. But if you have to accommodate the Muslims within the reservation, you have to take out reservation from somebody. But when Congress reacts to everything at a drop of a hat, and I invite you on national broadcast to kindly tell us, why none of your leaders has the courage to take the challenge of the Honorable Prime Minister? Why none of your leaders come and say, no, we are not going to take the reservation from SCs, STs and OBCs and give it to the Muslim community? You are not going to say that. Within that 50%, can any of your tallest of tall leaders say that we are not going to do it? You are challenged by an Honorable Prime Minister directly. It's not I am asking you. So you are not responding to that. Now, if you look at your plethora of lies, you went to the court and said, Bhagwan Shri Ram Kalpanik Patra. You did the Bhahishkar of Pran Pratishta. You did not let any of your leaders to go there. Still, Rahul Gandhi doesn't have time to go there. While in the Gujarat election, Kashmiri Pandit Dattatreya Kol Brahman Court ke upar Janu, Kurte ke upar Rudraksh ki mara, Mathe pe Trumund, he was doing temple hopping. Because that time you thought that will help you to get votes in, Gujarat. But here in UP, you're only contesting 17 seats, you don't want to get votes. And why you are hiding your Muslim love is because you are trying to keep this gray area when you will come to power, which you will not for next 10-15 years, then you will want to take out the reservation for SCs, STs and give it to the Muslims. That is what your plan is. Okay. And when Muslims are already covered under OBC, Muslims are already covered under ST, right? But you want to give a special reservation to Muslims irrespective of their economic status. You want to give religion-based reservation, which is not allowed by the constitution, and none of your leaders has come forward and said we will do it. And yesterday, what was Rahul Gandhi talking about? मैं संविधान की रक्षा के लिए अपने प्राणों की आहुति दूंगा. हम तो चाहते हैं आप 1 लाख साल जिए. Because more and more you live, the more and more it's good for BJP, the more and more.
Megha, I'd like to sign out.
So what are you talking about here, Pooja ji? What are you talking about? You're casting aspersion on the Prime Minister.
All right.
On no
Fair
solid
enough.
ground. You're not report even one solid answer.
Fair enough. You made your point. All right. Pooja, quick 30 seconds because I don't have time.
So I'll first respond to Savio when he quoted figure very well. The quote figure was out there in public domain, but he failed to tell us that 79.16% of the funds have been unutilized by the ministry, and the actual spending has been just 2.07 crore. And this is not me; this is the ministry speaking. Of the 329 schemes, only 71 are targeted to SC/ST. So, there may be budget allocation, but are they utilizing the funds? No, only 2 crores, and that's the fact before us. My friend Sumit was talking about कि जो Ram Mandir गया वो party से निकल गया. So Dipender Hooda went, he's our Lok Sabha candidate. Charanjit Channi went, he's our Lok Sabha candidate. The whole UP Congress went. Akhilesh Pratap Singh is our
Pramod Krishnan ji ko और Radhika Mehra ji से क्या दुश्मनी थी?
The Sanatan script of we are insulting Congress
no,
in a circular said that we will not participate in the politics.
Okay.
But
okay.
anyone is
okay, fair enough. Pooja, you've made your point. I only have as much time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, but I'll leave you all with this thought about how the Congress has been able to change its political narrative at a time when there was the temple visits and the temple runs of Rahul Gandhi that were being attacked by the BJP, to a time when Ram Mandir has been completely shunned by the Congress and certain India Alliance members. Is this then going to benefit the Congress, or is it then going to further evade them from getting the votes of the Hindus across the country?
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.